This is the Indian River Lagoon, Brevard County, Florida. If you look off in that direction, we've got a small island. Those are called spoil islands. They are created and maintained by them pumping the sand out of the channel, and that's where they deposit it. It's a pretty place right here. The spot I'm at is an old county boat ramp from the 1970s off of US 1. It's not maintained anymore, but it's still public ground. That's the old boat ramp. Not in that great shape. But it's a good place to fish when the winds are right. This whole area is flats until you get about 400 yards out. And the flats run north up to the big building that's way out there. That's a couple of miles. And run south pretty much as far as I have ever been on this section of the river in a boat. It's high tide right now, so most of this area is about 4 feet deep. During low tide, it's about 1.5 feet, and the extreme low tides, it's about 4 to 6 inches. It's a very peaceful place to come visit. The little islands, like that one, there's 3 or 4 south from this one that is open for public camping. The only way to get to it's by boat. It's got 5 or 6 camp spots on it. That one right there you can camp on, but it's also a bird sanctuary, so you're likely to have FWC come by, complain to you about being on the island. You can't really have any fires, and they make sure you clean up everything. But the other ones, there are several other ones that are very friendly for camping. It's completely rustic. You got anything you want, you bring out there with you. See, there's another spoil island there. That spoil island there during the early spring is a really good spoil island to go fishing for schoolie trout. You can sit there and catch undersized trout all day on a lure. You just never run out of fish to catch, but they're almost always too small to keep. You know, some boathouses over there. Just south of here is a very expensive on the water community. Very, very large houses, and they all have their own private docks. There's that island a little bit closer in. I've fished off of that island and around it quite a few times. When the weather's right, you can take a canoe through here without any issue and just have a good day out on the water. But days like today, it's a little rough, but it gets a lot more rough out here. It's a pretty good size crossing here. The Indian River Lagoon's pretty pretty big, stretches for a couple 100 miles. Some places are really, really wide, and this is a fairly wide section right here. During the heat of summer, this isn't a good place to fish. And we have brown algae blooms, and sometimes red tide come through here, and it smells really, really bad, and it kills off a lot of the fish. But come out here in the fall and winter and spring, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a little chilly today, well, for Florida chilly. Wind's coming out of the north-northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, which is just enough to chop this up real good. If you're in a small boat, you want to kind of stay off the water. When you get 20 foot or so, you're generally pretty good out here. See, it's pretty quiet. The only real noise here is just US 1 behind me. In the water, of course. Hope you enjoyed seeing a little patch of heaven close to where I live. Great place to fish. Still technically a public boat ramp, so you can launch boats here, but I recommend you keep them small where you can launch them by hand. Gotta love the wildlife.